You are not selling the product. You are laser focused on simply selling the conversation. So when a prospect says, we're not making any changes, or I'm not interested, that's actually not a valid reason to not move to the next step of this sales process. Hello, this is Michael Helper with Sales Scripter, and this is Module 6 in the Smart Sales System. In this training module, we will talk about how to simplify and optimize the sales process steps you take prospects through. And what we've done is we've broken the sales process down into 4 steps. And not only will this likely change what you say and do, but creating more awareness for where you are in terms of these steps will provide more clarity for what you should do and where you should take the lead and conversations next. And these 4 steps fit with just about any product or service. So let's get started with the first sales process step, and that is the initial contact. This is basically the first time you're interacting, talking to, or reaching out to a sales prospect. And that can often look like making a cold call, sending a cold email, you meet someone when you're networking, and just a few things to keep in mind so that you optimize and improve the initial contact step is that you want to try to keep this interaction to 2 to 5 minutes. If you end up talking to a prospect longer than, say, 5 to 10 minutes, you most likely are trying to do too much in the initial contact, or you've actually progressed to the next sales process step. We also recommend that you try to make 80% of the initial contact about the prospect and 20% of that interaction about you. And keep in mind, you just need to build enough interest so that you can sell the prospect on talking more and having a conversation. And with what we've talked about so far, this is actually a completely different approach from what most salespeople use, because as I talked about in an earlier training video, most salespeople use a more product-focused sales approach. So when they are reaching out in their initial contact, maybe that's a cold call or a cold email, and I'm speaking from experience with all the cold emails and calls I get, all of those salespeople are focusing on the last step of the sales process, which is the purchase. And these changes are going to completely change what you say and how you communicate, because you are going to focus more on selling the prospect, on talking more, and simply having a conversation. And I can actually show you what this might look like. Here is an outline of a cold call script. And with using this sales process, you can make the first 80% of the cold call about the prospect by asking questions, and you can then spend the end of the cold call, maybe the last 20%, talking about your company and your product. And then instead of asking the prospect if they're interested or if they need what you sell, you can be laser focused on closing them, on talking more and having a conversation. This sales process and this approach can also completely change how you respond to objections. And if we go back to the product-focused salesperson, if this salesperson runs into an objection, let's say an objection where a prospect says, oh, we're not making any changes right now. The product-focused salesperson might try to overcome that objection, to try to say something that changes the prospect from not making a change to wanting to make a change. But when you realize that the next step in the sales process is simply to talk more, you can see that there's a completely different way to respond to objections. Here's an example of what you could say when a prospect says, we're not making any changes right now, that aligns with the sales process I'm showing you. And you could say something like, oh, I understand. Hey, and listen, I want you to know I'm not reaching out to try to sign you up or sell you anything. Actually, I'm just trying to have a first conversation with you to learn more about what you guys are doing and maybe share some information about us. That way, when your budget opens up or you're ready to make a change, you can know who we are and how we can help. This objection response is not playing any games or trying to manipulate the prospect at all or trick them in any way. What you are basically doing is educating the prospect on the process you're trying to work through, and actually be completely honest. You are not selling the product. You are laser focused on simply selling the conversation. So when a prospect says we're not making any changes, or I'm not interested, that's actually not a valid reason to not move to the next step of this sales process. So at this point, we are progressing to the second step of the sales process, and that is where we are simply having a conversation. And in the real world, that typically looks like having an appointment, having a meeting. This could be maybe just scheduling a call on another day. And some things to keep in mind with how you organize and structure your conversations and your meetings. A good window of time to try to stick to is 15 to 20 minutes. At this point, the focus and balance of the conversation starts to change with putting 50% of the discussion around the prospect and 50% of the discussion around our product and company. And what you're trying to sell in the conversation and in the meeting is not the product. We're still not there. What we're trying to do is sell the explanation step of the sales process. And I can also show you what this looks like. Here is our recommendation for a first appointment script or a first appointment outline. And using this approach, what we can do is we can make the first half of the conversation or the appointment all about the prospect and do that by asking good questions. And we can then make the second half of the appointment about our product and our company. And the close at the end of the conversation or the meeting is not to try to get the prospect to buy from you. It's to try to get them to move to the next step of the sales process and agree to a presentation or a demonstration. And at that point, you progress in the sales process to the step that we refer to as the explanation. This is basically where you are explaining how you or your product can help the prospect. And this typically can be you delivering a presentation to the prospect, demonstrating your product or service. This step might also just be the delivery of a proposal or a quote. You might sell a product or service that is fairly simple or doesn't require a presentation or demonstration. You still need to go through the explanation step, but this step might simply be you presenting your pricing or presenting a list of options. But when you are delivering a presentation or a demonstration, some things to keep in mind for the explanation step is that a good window of time is 30 to 60 minutes. And here we can continue to try to change the balance of the attention and focus. And we actually recommend the structure here being the exact opposite of the initial contact. And our goal for the explanation step is to sell the product and try to get the prospect to agree to move forward. And I can also show you what this looks like. Here is a presentation outline that we recommend. You can make the first part of the presentation or demonstration about your findings of the prospect, and you can make the remainder of the presentation and demonstration about you and your company or product. And then at the close of the explanation step is where you can ask some of your closing questions. We provided some of these closing questions in the previous training module. And that is the sales process. Now, you might look at that and say, you know, when I sell my product, I go through those steps a little differently, or I don't know if that fits with my product or service. There are actually multiple ways to go through these steps. For example, you might find yourself where you have the initial contact and you have the conversation at the same time. A good example of this may be when you cold call a prospect and instead of talking to them for 2 to 5 minutes, you end up talking to them for 20 or 30 minutes right then. This is an example of what we call an instant meeting. And it's important to be aware of this concept and to be aware of when you're falling into having an instant meeting, because there are some times where it makes sense to have instant meetings, and there are reasons to try to avoid accidentally falling into an instant meeting happening. For example, you might get a prospect on the phone that's very difficult to get a hold of. You might want to get as much out of that interaction as you can and try to push forward towards an instant meeting. Or if you're meeting with someone face to face, it might make sense just to keep talking then. If you sell something that's fairly simple, it might not make sense to schedule a conversation on another day. But I believe in most cases, you want to try to avoid instant meetings. If you draw the line between the initial contact and the conversation, and you schedule that conversation on another day, in most cases, you will get more time and attention with the prospect than you would if you just squeezed out another question. But the main problem with accidentally falling into having instant meetings is that you're missing a closing opportunity. Let's say that you're talking to a prospect and the prospect asks you a good question. Let's say the prospect says, well, how does all of this work? You might love hearing the prospect ask that question, that you just start answering their question. Well, what happens is then you end up slipping into having an instant meeting. And what you've done is you've missed a closing opportunity, an opportunity to close the prospect and get them to the next step of your sales process. Staying with the same example, if the prospect says, well, how does all of this work? You could resist your urge to answer that and instead respond by saying something like, you know what, that's a good question, and that's a bit of a long answer. What do you think about pausing here? And what we can do is we can regroup maybe next week for a longer call, and I can go into all the details of how it all works. I can even bring a consultant onto the call. That way we can answer that question and any other questions you might have. How does Tuesday morning look for you? So what I did there is I maintained awareness for where I was in these 4 steps, and I drew the line and I used their question as an opportunity to close the prospect on the next step. You also might find yourself where you have the conversation and the explanation at the same time. We refer to this as an instant presentation. So an example of this might be, let's say you're meeting with a prospect at a coffee shop and having a conversation. And based on what you end up talking about with the prospect, you decide to turn your laptop around and show some slides, or you pull out a brochure and share some details of your different products or services. And there might be a lot of situations where that's the optimum thing to do. But a lot of the same factors that we discussed with instant meetings apply here, where you might get more time and attention if you schedule that explanation on another day. You might also look at these 4 steps and say, well, this doesn't really fit for me because my product's fairly simple and I usually just close for the prospect at the same time on the first call or the first time seeing or meeting with the prospect. And this process does actually work for that scenario. We refer to that as a one-call close, and you can still go through these 4 steps with a one-call close. For example, let's say you call a prospect or see a prospect when you're cold walking. You start the conversation, that's the initial contact, maybe ask a question or two, get a good answer. Then you close the prospect on talking more by saying something like, hey, I have a couple more questions. Do you have about 5 minutes right now? They agree to that. You progress to the conversation step, ask them a few more questions. Based on the information you gather, you then share 3 different options and packages they can choose from, and then you close the prospect on one of those packages right there on the call or when you're talking with the prospect. That would be a one-call close. And in that example, I still went through all 4 of these steps. And in my opinion, using this sales process and still maintaining awareness in that one call for where you are in terms of the step, you can improve your ability to manage that call and improve your ability getting the prospect from the open of the call to closing for the purchase. So hopefully these 4 steps give you some new ideas for how you can manage leads and prospects through your pipeline and through your sales process. And that is pretty much it. In the next training module, we will talk about cold calling. And in case you're not aware, this full sales training program is already on YouTube. If you go to our YouTube channel, then go to playlists, then go to the Smart Sales System, you will see training modules for this entire sales training program. And if you found this to be helpful in any way and want to return the favor, very easy to do. All you have to do is like, comment, share this video, subscribe to our channel. Any of those help us and none of those cost you anything. And if you have questions or you want more information, the best place to go is salescriptor.com. Thanks for being here. Hope this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.